Hi everybody, Carrie Baughcum here. Welcome back to another episode. So super excited to be here with you guys today. And today I want to talk to you about an obsession that I have. And it has to do with Post-it notes. I mean, what's not to love about the little guys? They're little and they're square, and now they come in all different kinds of fun shapes and sizes, and they come in all different kinds of fun colors, and they're sticky and they're movable, and they're full of all kinds of potential in our classrooms. There are tons of different ways that we can use Post-it notes in the classroom for a variety of different reasons. So whether you've dove into sketchnotes and your classroom is full on sketchnoting, or whether you haven't started sketchnoting, you're looking for a way for you or your students to kind of dip their toes into sketchnoting, Post-it notes are a great way to improve our students' focus on thinking visually, and then also just a great tool to offer a lot more flexibility when we're teaching our students how to be visual thinkers. So let's get started. Whenever we're sketchnoting, or whether we're trying to improve our students' ability to sketchnote or think more visually, the first thing we always do is we start with an idea, right? Idea, information, we see it or we hear it, it comes into our brain, we visualize an icon or an image in our imagination, and then we want to get that image onto paper, and sometimes we'll connect it with just an image, and sometimes we might connect it with words, and that is sketchnoting, that is visual thinking. And so I love Post-it notes for so many different reasons. And the first way that I love to use it is just for icons, right? So I'm hearing the information, and I get my icon onto my Post-it note. Simple visual representation of the information that I'm learning. Ready to step it up a notch? We take that information in, we pair an image with a few words about what we're learning, and now we've got the image and the words on a sticky piece of paper that's also color-coded. We'll get to that in a minute. Post-it notes make great containers. Containers hold information and organize it in our space, and you can use containers in a variety of different ways. And I'll link a video that I talked about those earlier down below. But Post-it notes are a container. They're a square, but they also can become a container, like a talk bubble that could be on the side of a paragraph, or it could be coming out of a character's mouth on a piece of notes. Or just we could label a picture with Post-it notes that have a container holding information or an icon in the middle of it. Another one, I wonder. Another little container, a thought bubble. Could be put anywhere we want to on a piece of paper, right? Or in a book, or on the board, or on a bulletin board. Post-it notes also hold information, right? And they hold icons or information, but because they're sticky, they allow us to move things around, to put them in order. They would be great on a plot line of a story. You could use Post-it notes to show the progression of a story. They make great timelines, and they also make great storylines. And students could work with Post-it notes together or separate. So they're also a great collaborative tool. Post-it notes are also a great way to either preset a lesson or use as a lesson review. So we take in new information, and this is just information. So I'm just learning about it, little pieces of information on little Post-it notes, right? And maybe this new information gets posted on the board or on a bulletin board, and it just sits there, right? And then this allows you to pre-assess and know what your students don't know about because there's not an icon attached to it. It's new information, right? And then as the lesson progresses, or at the end of a lesson, your images or your Post-it notes get pulled off the board or pulled off a bulletin board, and we add icons to them. And now you've got a full bulletin board or a full board full of words and icons attached to them that can support learners of all varieties, strengths, and weaknesses, that could support writing, and all kinds of great conversations in your classroom. Post-it notes come in all different colors. I could buy thousands of them at Target. So because they come in different colors means that we can also use them to color code our information. So icons or information on a specific color can then be organized depending on what you're talking about or what you're learning, or students can talk about where the different colors belong. So they make a great color coding organizational tool. By taking the information in and synthesizing it and summarizing it into such a small way, I mean, Post-it notes can only hold so much information. So for your kids who like to go on and on and on about information or have trouble summarizing or micro-summarizing information, Post-it notes are great because they only hold so much information. So once we have all of this information on a Post-it note and we attach it with an icon and we stick it either on our room, or students could stick it on a book as they're reading, or they could stick it along the edge of their book if they're reading in a textbook. These Post-it notes make great resources for students because now we've got lines and lines of information or notes and notes full of information, but now we've got a Post-it note or 2 or 3 with a simple summarization on it connected to an icon that students can look right down on their paper, see the information and the icon, and instantly remember what that text is about. So that powerful visual is there for them. Finally, Post-it notes. Beautiful little words, summaries with icons attached to them. Maybe we use them in our textbook, or we use them in a novel, or we use them for whatever we're taking notes on or gathering information on, right? So we have our Post-it notes either lined up in our book or as part of a chapter. We read a chapter and we write about and think about what we're seeing as we're reading that chapter, or we're taking notes. These Post-it notes get pulled off and we can lay these out all over our desk or our table, and they can aid us in conversation. They could be put down on a piece of paper and become a sketch note of their own, or they can become part of a bigger class sketch note and then offer a lot of collaborative opportunities and opportunities for discussion with lots of words and ideas that are also anchored in images that will support all learning styles and all learning strengths and weaknesses. So I know there's tons and tons of ways that you can use Post-it notes in the classroom. They're a simple tool, they're inexpensive. We probably have stacks of them in your cabinet, but just waiting there to be used, calling your name. Come use me, I'm cute and colorful and sticky. So pull them out, lay them out for the kids, use them to connect images and ideas and visuals, and get your kids thinking visually when they're learning. And then come back and tell me your ideas. If you have different ideas than mine, or if you try my ideas and you like them, and you have tips or feedback on how they worked in your classroom, I would love to hear them. So be sure to leave a comment down below if you're a Post-it note lover like me, or you have ideas for how to use them in your classroom. I would love to hear them. And then if you're here and you like what you see, outline that subscribe button and give that color and that thumbs up so that I know that you were here and you're part of this Post-it note extravaganza with me. And then as always, you guys, whether it's bringing out the best in your students, learning, creating, or just being you, there are no rules. Later, guys.